Hi, this is Charles Hoskinson from rough and rugged Wyoming. I just got up to my ranch and I'm looking forward to a nice weekend with lots of wind and trees being ripped down. Sometimes Wyoming weather's special. I wanted to make a quick video, talk a little bit about something that was recently brought to my attention, some issues with Liqwid. So as many of you know, I try very hard to stay out of the events in the DeFi layer of the Cardano ecosystem, unless it's done with a coordinated approach at the behest of the community as a whole. So we've been talking a lot about things like Pentad v2 and previously Pentad v1, and these efforts and initiatives do require us to work with and try to advocate for the funding of various DeFi applications and dApps in the Cardano ecosystem. So also we run the C Fund working with Wave, and the GPs at Wave have historically taken investments in many different DeFi applications in the Cardano ecosystem, but not investments large enough to have meaningful influence or control over governance, which is why I traditionally just stay out of it and I allow people to experiment and do things that they want to do. The glacier drop did create an interesting scenario where those who were in the custody of others' ADA or other resources, as we saw with exchanges, were in a situation where they technically were holding on to something that may not belong to them, depending upon the user's terms and agreements. And it's always been an ambiguous area of the cryptocurrency industry as a whole. Some exchanges and custodians give full amounts, some don't redeem at all, some give a partial amount, and there's no universal accepted best practice. This is a problematic issue for the Liqwid holders because in October the team made representations that 100% of the assets in the smart contracts, the night allocated to it, would be returned to the rightful owners. I guess that team did not have, according to the user agreement of their DAO, legal authorization to do so. It somehow violated the terms of how they've set things up. Giving them the benefit of the doubt, what's curious to me, and something that is a bit problematic to me, is if you have to go to the DAO for a vote, two things should be done. First and foremost, those who are insiders should recuse themselves if they're going to be direct beneficiaries of a governance action of this nature. Second, the question should have been, should we honor our marketing commitments, yes or no? Commitments were already made. People put money into the contracts understanding those terms and conditions and had no reasons to believe that such things would be violated. People in a position of trust and people in a position to maintain this type of software, they frankly speaking should be a little bit better. DAOs require legitimacy, and the legitimacy comes from participation. And if the belief is that participation is only controlled by a small group of insiders, there's no path forward for a DAO to have governance legitimacy. So my recommendation is to hold a second vote, superseding the prior vote, and have the insiders associated with the core entities who created this protocol recuse themselves from it after publicly declaring their holdings, and have that vote simply be, should we honor the marketing commitments made in October? Yes or no? And if no, that would then open up a vote for any type of allocation. But if yes, then you just honor the marketing commitments made. I think that's the simplest way to restore trust and credibility in this dApp as a whole. Now, if they don't do this, I have no recourse because I have no special powers or authorities. Night has already been distributed. It's already in a smart contract, and I can't control that, and nor do I have any special powers in the Cardano ecosystem. But it is my belief that this violation of public trust, or at least the perception of it, will badly damage the protocol's ability, Liqwid's ability, to grow and thrive in the future. Simply put, if people can't trust what the core accounts are saying, and when votes are taken, people don't trust those votes, it creates a reality where people will just simply move to other options. they're not bereft of them, and there's many things coming online this year to replicate the capabilities of Liquid. It would be sad to see that TVL move, and it would be sad to see an application that's been in Cardano so long fail as a result of a singular vote. And that, I think, is not in the best interest of the Liquid holders, the team, and the people who've been working so long and so hard for all these things. You can always have a path to redemption. You can always have a path to restoration, but to restore trust, one has to put the conditions to do so. And when you look at situations like this, the path forward is pretty obvious. The allegations are that it's an unfair vote, and the frustrations are that representations were made. Well, make the vote fair by recusing and declaring, and honor the representations, or with the consent of the community, go in a different direction. But they should have first right of refusal, because many people left their money and put their money into those smart contracts believing that they would have a full reimbursement. That's my recommendation, and I believe that will resolve the matter completely if adopted. And as I said, if not, my belief is it'll create a slow and steady decline of the Liquid protocol and its holders as people lose faith in the project and simply leave. I'm sorry that I don't have any special powers to resolve these situations, and from our part at Input Output, we always try to act in a mentor role and talk about good governance. And we have seen the consequences of poor structuring and poor governance. I'm the one who set up the core entities alongside other people, and decisions that we made at the time, which seemed perfectly reasonable, have come back to create a lot of harm and heartburn in the ecosystem in the long term. And having gone through those things, it put me in a position where I wish I could just simply hold a vote to make it all go away. And this is one of those rare opportunities where it seems like that actually can happen. There's no reason why in a decentralized governance, if it benefits the totality of the ecosystem, to restore faith and credibility by doing so. The power of recusal, this has also come up. When an ecosystem is young, it's very important that the people who built it don't put their feet on the scales to tip it one way or the other. Cardano is very large. There's millions of people, $10+ billion of assets, and a lot of stuff going on alongside 10 years of history. To say that forever the people involved with the founding of it have to recuse themselves is an irrational thing. Either we're decentralized or we're not. This is not the case for small protocols that only have tens of millions of dollars of TVL and are still incredibly reliant upon a small founding team who probably hold a massive quantity of the tokens. In those circumstances, especially when they have a direct financial benefit, it makes sense for them to take a step back and realize that even if they have the legal right or the protocol right to participate, for votes of this nature, they probably shouldn't, especially when it was their team that made the very statements that created this problem. And the right thing seems prudent to disclose and recuse, and then let the Liquid holders decide whether they want to honor prior commitments or not. And if they don't, then it's a free-for-all. The community can decide any distribution they so think, up to and including the one that was voted on previously with the question vote. This seems to be a simple way of resolving it. But anyway, that's my opinion. Take it or leave it. And from our part at Input Output, we're here to help as much as we can. And we have all kinds of great relationships, products, and services we're building. Who we choose to work with is completely connected to and dependent upon our belief in the maturity, credibility, honesty, and integrity of the teams. That's all we can do.